Back with us on the SportsMax Zone. The Stars of the East Harbour View added another star to their crest, beating Dunbeholden 6-5 on penalties in the final of the Jamaica Premier League, powered by JPL, to secure their 5th national title. Sunday's victory in front of a packed Sabina Park capped a remarkable story for Lolo Bernard and his team, which triumphed in a championship where they managed only 8 wins in normal time over the course of the 27 games they played this season.
And let's have a look at the match highlights. And Harbour View, after 3 minutes, the finish from Colorado Murray. A man of the match kind of finish so early in the piece. And his 7th of the season, Colorado Murray. What a pass as well from Joshua Anglin to give him the opportunity. And then Dunbeholden had to find a way back in. Nicoy Christian over the top for Kimoni Bailey. Bailey's first touch excellent. The second touch average, and was wide of the mark. Then a ball into the business area from Nicoy Christian. Bennett was there. Then a volley from Fabian McCarthy, just wide of the goal. Second half now, Colorado Murray turns his defender well, but the strike just wide of the upright. And Dunbeholden, they started to come forward heavily in the second half. A Tafarai Bygrave to Demario Phillips. A Tafarai Bygrave's first assist of the season. Phillips' 6th goal of the season. Good finish, no chance. Anthony Bennett, 1-1. Yeah, the game was heating up. Big celebration for Demario Phillips, who had a really good season. This opportunity for Harbour View with Nicholas Hamilton coming on to the park, couldn't sort out his feet. He's been the hero for them in this playoff period, especially in the semi-finals. And as we said, end-to-end action. Kimoli Bailey fighting hard. He was probably the best player on the night for Dunbeholden. Nicoy Christian pulling his shot wide. And a Tafoy Bygrave maybe a step too slow and unable to get a touch on that. And then the last kick of the 90. Trayvon Reid to a Shane Staple from a free kick outside the area. Staple couldn't find the target, and Akita Nicholson had seen enough. Into extra time, Clive Wedderbun on as a substitute. Nice ball in, didn't time his jump well though. A Tafoy Bygrave should have gotten closer to it, and didn't make any contact. Then this sloppy moment fell to Hamilton, through pass just before the whistle went. Big calls for penalty and a top decision by Okita Nicholson. Nothing doing. Trayvon Reid, no penalty. And then that chance for Dean Andre coming on as a substitute, the super sub. A ball coming through, thought he had a chance to win it there. And an Amal Knight, who came on as a sub himself in the right time, in the right place at the right time. And on to the penalties we go. Colorado Morris scoring, then Dwayne Smith. And Amal Knight not able to save that. We are all square after the initial 5. Then Ajani Talbot into the far corner. And Fabian McCarthy had to score off the frame of the goal and over. Amal Knight not forced to make a save, and Harbour View, the champions of the Premier League 2022, their 5th hold on the title.
Man of the match, Colorado Murray, spoke with us after the game.
I tell you before, I came here to win the title and also to qualify for the CONCACAF. And now I did it, coming from Harbour View, from a tender stage. The only thing I can say, I'm very happy and very proud of the youths, honestly.
I asked you the last time we spoke in the semi-final when you were man of the match, what is it that really has motivated you through this time, because you look so much a different player in this playoff?
Well, Lord Bernard, right there, I think I give him something that he always wanted, to win the schoolboy title and to win the Premier League in the same year. So honestly, Lolo Bernard, I'm a teammate.
Finally, personally for you, what's the next stage? What are you looking for in terms of your career?
I always want a contract. That's a big thing for me. So I'm working for it,
Well, you've certainly advertised yourself well. So all the best and well with the celebration later.
Okay, thank you very much. Goal and blue, right?
Yeah, by contract he means a contract overseas. The 2 head coaches now, Harbour View's Lolo Bernard and then Harold Thomas of Dunbeholden.
It's a team that really displayed a lot of great determination and fight really to win the competition. Nothing to really put on a classical display, but just to get over the line and win. For these boys, it is a tremendous achievement for them. I'm really glad for them, you know, that they can become victors and really taste championship, you know. But it's a good effort from my team and a very good effort also from a very good Dunbeholden team who gave as much as they got on the day.
Well, we're hoping that it never had to go to the dreaded penalty. Got a couple of opportunities to take it there, but it is what it is. It was a very good game. I'm sure all the spectators here enjoyed it. And our motto is to play good football. We think we did that today, so we're satisfied.
Harold Thomas, the man guiding Dunbeholden, second place for them in this Premier League season. Chris Taylor is here to help us review the final. Chris, your takeaways from fantastic Sunday.
Exciting game, lovely environment, great to see so many persons involved in the stadium, and as I said, a lovely atmosphere. So yeah, it was quite enjoyable to do, and yeah, I thought both teams played good football. I thought the coaching staffs, well, especially Dunbeholden took a big chance going in initially. I thought leaving out Peter McGregor, that was a bit of a surprise to me. I think it affected their play somewhat. But yeah, the quality of the football, I thought, on the night at Sabina Park on a really good surface was something to behold. A good advert again for the Jamaica Premier League. And I thought a full house. I mean, I haven't seen that since maybe the Jamaica Talos, you know, for the CPL. So it was great to see the support for the Jamaica Premier League and so many persons coming out. And I said they were well entertained as well.
Talk about the story of Harbour View. From barely there, getting into the playoffs by goal difference. They had +3. The team beneath them, Humberland, had +1. The team close to them, Tivoli, had -1. They squeezed in on goal difference. If someone had told you at the start of the playoffs that Harbour View would be lifting the trophy at Sabina Park on a fantastic Sunday, you'd have called them a fool, wouldn't you have?
Yes, I would have said I didn't see that happening at all, and we were talking about that off here as well. That what a surprise Harbour View you know, put up for us. And I mean, as you said, barely qualifying for the top 6, just on goal difference. 7 wins, 7 draws, 8 losses. The season was a real struggle, and as I said, they were consistently inconsistent, Harbour View, right throughout the season. But as you said, that's why it's important in sport to peak at the right time, and Harbour View certainly did that. They saved their best for last. They had a great playoff period, where obviously, as London Bernard said, he had chipped and changed the squad quite a bit throughout the season. He finally found the formula. Colorado Murray was a great purchase in the transfer window because they were missing a number 9. And himself with Trayvon Reed and Philon Lawrence really added the impetus in the attack. And with Joshua Anglin coming into the middle of the park and Ajani Talbot returning from Portugal, I thought that kind of stability with the find of 17-year-old Anthony Bennett to complement Amal Knight, the Harbour View team just came together at the right time, and I thought the playoff period, there was a certain level of focus about them, a certain level of determination and resilience, and that carried them right through. As I said, somewhat similar to what we saw Annette Gardens do 5 or 6 years ago, when they finished 6th, qualifying on the final day and carrying home the title at the end.
Chris, when you look at the game, Dunbeholden eventually grew into the game. I think the early goal kind of got them on the back foot a little bit. But what changed in how they eventually started to dominate the game? Because like maybe midway the first half, they were constantly raiding a Harbour View down the flanks, but poor finishing, and of course, you know, their lack of composure in front of goal, I think, cost them. But what was the difference, you thought, why they eventually took control of the game by about midway the first half?
I just think Harbour View were quicker out of the blocks, which is something that they've shown right throughout the playoff period. I think Dunbeholden, as you said, were put on the back foot is after 3 minutes that goal was scored. I think after that, Dunbeholden came into their own. As you know, their strength is through the spine. Nicoy Christian and Fabian McCarthy in the middle of the park. Well, generally, Ataforai Bygrave and Peter McGregor as 2 centre forwards. I thought it was a mistake. I mean, we'll never be able to prove that. No, I thought it was a mistake not to go with Peter McGregor from the start, because that has been the formula which really carried them through the season. I think that was a formula that really changed their luck from being 4th at one stage to leading the Premier League with that double whammy up front, that partner for Ataforai Bygrave in Peter McGregor. And I thought in the first half initially, they lacked that second physical presence, so it allowed Harbour View to be a bit more adventurous. Kimoni Bailey, probably, as I said in commentary, as you would have heard, played the best for Dunbeholden on the night. He was one of the players that was brought in, but he doesn't have that physical capability up front in the same way as McGregor. And I thought with McGregor and Bygrave on the park, it would have kept Harbour View a bit more busy and allowed them to, well, it would have restricted their movement, I think, a bit more. When they did make the move to bring on McGregor and so on, at the start of the second half, I thought Dunbeholden looked a lot more threatening, and it showed in terms of their play, how they came forward. They got a lot more opportunities in and around the 18-yard box. But they had a big call to make. There was a tired Nicoy Christian on the park, and even though he has the vision and probably the best creative midfielder we've seen in the JPL this season, the fact is it's been hard for him. It's been tough for him to play 90 minutes at the same intensity. And I thought the big call was to take off Nicoy Christian, let us say after 75 minutes, and go for someone else at that point. They decided to take off, they had to force a change with McGregor, and they decided to take off, I think it was Shaquem Powell they took off in the end, and finally brought on DeAndre Thomas. But I thought at one stage, in the second half, they were actually giving up the play yet again to Harbour View, because Atafari Bygrave and Peter McGregor were forced to be in the midfield instead of up front because of Nicoy Christian's tired legs. But as I said, I just thought Harbour View in the initial stages just put them on the back foot just because they came out with a higher tempo. But I thought it was no surprise that Dunbeholden would have taken over the game as it went on, just because of their capability in the midfield.
There have been many Premier League seasons, Chris, when you haven't heard people talking about it. The places you go to play football, you go to a place to have a drink, you're doing business, people are not talking about the JPL. Not this one. Everybody was talking about this, even before the epic semi-final matches that we had. A word from you on what you think this season in totality would have done for people's appetite for top-flight professional football in Jamaica.
I think a lot of good points for the Jamaican Premier League. We spoke about the fact that so many of the players have matriculated to the higher level in terms of playing for the Reggae Boys, the national team, and not looking out of place. I thought that was an important thing to note, that when these players have got the opportunity and they have been rubbing shoulders with the players who are playing in Europe, in the USA and so on, that they have joined them well. They have looked like of a similar quality. And I think that's a good thing for the Jamaica Premier League, that we do have players here, homegrown players who can improve and can represent us nationally as well. So I think kudos to the Jamaica Premier League for that. I think one of the highlights as well is that the Premier League was played for the most part on much better surfaces. So the quality of the football could improve. And I think that's a big deal going into years to come. Maybe this was something that COVID facilitated for football in Jamaica, that it forced us to play in centralized venues, and so we could choose better venues and better surfaces. And because of that, the quality of the football, and we think back to the final, we think back to the 4-3 of the semi-final as well. Quality football right through, good finishing, good quality passing, good touches, good vision and creativity. So that is what we want to see. And I think going forward, this is something, and it shows that when good football is played, people will come out and support. I mean, Sabina Park was over 20,000, and I think that we were maybe at a 75% attendance last night. I mean, it was really, really good to see, and I said they were thoroughly entertained. I thought all sectors of the park played well defensively. I mean, great attacks were created. We only got 2 goals, and it went right down to penalties, but it was exciting right through. So it's something to build on, I think.
Two quick ones for you before we leave, Chris. We're out of time. Of course, we have to acknowledge that Cavalier came third in the game. No one wants to play. Waterhouse, I think, just honoured the fixture, and they were beaten out of sight by Cavalier. But your 2-part question. You're player of the season, Chris, but I want you to do it this way. I want you to give me your player of the season under 30 and your player of the season 30 and over.
Wow. I would think it's hard to look past Atafari Bygrave. I think if you look at where he has been coming from, his story, yes, he didn't end up winning the Premier League in the end, but being the leading goal scorer, coming from a situation where he was thrown away by all the teams that he ever went to. He was ditched. And for him to show that level of resilience, for him to get a national team call, for him to be the leading goal scorer, for him now to sign a contract overseas in Vietnam, I think that is something that all young players can look at locally here. Went to Edith Dalton James, a school that is not known for its football in Powys, plays in the Manning Cup. And to come out of that, and as I said, went to Cavalier, he was cut. Tried to make Waterhouse team at the under-20 level, he was cut. Went to Dunbeholden initially, he was cut. And was able to turn that around, went overseas to Antigua and then, create that opportunity. I think that was a big deal for him. So for me, even though he didn't lift the title in the end, how he developed himself and what he contributed to the league, I think he would be my under 30. Over 30. Wow. I'm not sure there. You kind of have me tied. Maybe Fabian McCarthy.
Christian is 30. McCarthy is a little bit over 30.
So funny that I found two Dunbeholden players, but they have been real standouts for me.
Yeah.
Real standouts.
All right, I didn't prep you for that when I caught you on the spot, so you did brilliantly well. So no problems there. And you say to our vast audience, Edith Dalton James, and you are correct that the school is not known for churning out big footballers. I'm sure you know both you gentlemen. May we have the 3-shot, Mr. Director? Both you gentlemen know the most famous graduate of Edith Dalton James.
Please tell me.
Who that? George Davis?
Rodney Price.
Kidding.
Chris, thank you very much for your time, my friend. All the best to you.
Always a pleasure.
All right, good. Jamaica Premier League powered by Digicel is history. Dunbeholden second. All hail Harbour View, the Stars of the East. 5-time champions of the Premier League in Jamaica. Now, congratulations to them. Cavalier finished third. Waterhouse fourth. And people already are looking forward to the new season of the competition. That's not something we've been able to say in recent times about top flight football in Jamaica. But yeah, it really is that good. Back with more after these on The Zone. Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay informed.